Hey guys, the Super Review Show here for another episode of Rock Talk. So there I was looking at my calendar the other day, not the one behind me, but the one on my phone. I was like, oh my god, I forgot September 17th was the 30th anniversary of Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. This is the Rock Talk episode where we're going to be talking about Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 and what impact they made on rock music in the year 1991, because they both turned 30 years old this year. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. So normally I have vinyl for you guys, but today I only have this. I actually have an original pressing. I dug it out of my shelf upstairs. I have an original pressing of Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 2. I don't have one because my dad never bought one back in the day. He only bought the second one. But here's the Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 2. Let's start with Use Your Illusion 1 for a sec, because that's the first one that came out. First off, just a quick preface. Guns N' Roses is amazing. I just saw them live not too long ago. I saw them recently live, and they were amazing. Still to this day, the chemistry between the bandmates are still there. Axl Rose's voice, he's not quite there still. They've lowered the keys to some songs for him, but he can still wail out the lyrics and stuff like that. I love Guns N' Roses. I think they're an amazing band. And when these albums got released in the early 90s, these were like, oh my god, wow, we're actually like able to, this is the middle of grunge, and the fact that this hard rock band is thriving, it's crazy. So, anyways, Use Your Illusion 1 had so many great songs on there, and I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I know that Coma was on there, November Rain was on there, a cover of the Wings' Live and Let Die was on there, Don't Cry, Bad Apple, I think it was Bad Obsession, I'm thinking that right? Bad Obsession, Double Talk and Jive. Oh my god, there are so many great songs on both these albums. The Use Your Illusion 1 had the big mega hit with November Rain, and seeing that live was amazing. It's one thing to hear the studio recording, like I woke up this morning, I listened to it, whatever. It's a brilliant recording, it's a brilliant song, I love it to death. But at the same time, seeing it visually happen in front of you, with Axl Rose playing the piano and stuff like that live in front of you, it was amazing. I went with a friend of mine, and Slash solo was so good on November Rain. I mean, they started out with the Layla. They've been doing this live lately. They play a piano intro to November Rain. So they played the Layla by Derek and the Dominoes, which was really cool. And then they went into November Rain. And I got to tell you, it was awesome. It was an awesome show, awesome song, awesome. It went over live so well. It was amazing. But I loved it. And there were so many great songs on Use Your Illusion 1. But let's look at Use Your Illusion 2 as well. Use Your Illusion 2 was the darker color one with the blue background and the purple lettering. Civil War, 14 years. Yesterdays, there was so many. Anyways, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Get in the Ring, crazy song, crazy story behind that song too. Shotgun Blues, Breakdown, Pretty Tied Up, Locomotive, So Fine, Estranged, great song. You Could Be Mine, great song. Don't Cry, it's the same song as before, but with alternate lyrics, so they put the album on twice. And My World. The guy who recorded this, who produced the two records, Mike Klink, he was known for Eye of the Tiger, for Survivor, but then when Guns N' Roses recorded their seminal debut, Appetite for Destruction, they said, oh, why don't we get the guy Mike Klink to do it? And then sure enough, history was made. Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, It's So Easy, Mr. Brownstone. That whole album was flawless. I love that album. It's a death, really. It's a fantastic record. If you've never heard it, go listen to that too. I recommend that album as well. Just Guns N' Roses in general, they're just a great rock band. They took rock bands to the next level, in my opinion. They didn't last very long, but still. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. What can you say? So, funny story. These two records debuted at number 1 and number 2 on the Billboard 200, and they were both certified platinum by the end of 1992. What that means is each album sold over 5 or 6 million copies each. Now, you got to remember too, this is back in the day before Spotify, before streaming numbers and all that crap. This was when people literally waited in line for days to get the new CD of Guns N' Roses or Nirvana or whatever. They actually had to physically wait in line for the CD. So, because pre-internet, Well, the internet was just born like 98 and 95, whatever, so it took forever to catch on and stuff like that to improve it. So, long story short, though, people waited in the line forever to get CDs and vinyl. Back in the day, that was the big thing. So, but Guns N' Roses, in the Behind the Music documentary of Guns N' Roses, they actually show lines of droves of people to get Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 back in the early 90s. And the fact that the first album debuted at number 1, but this one debuted right below it at number 2, because they released they released both albums on the same day, which I always thought, wow, you're gonna release literally 2 hours worth of music on the same day. Why not spread it out a little bit and keep your longevity going? Where Use Your Illusion 2 could have come out, let's say, a year later in '92, and they even though they had the material already set up, they release it then, so that they can go into the mid '90s with it. But that's just my personal like fantasy, like, oh, why didn't they do that kind of thing, you know? Overall, look, when I saw them, they played Civil War, they played Yesterdays, I think, they played Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is a Bob Dylan song, just letting you guys know. They played Estranged, they played You Could Be Mine, they did not play Don't Cry, they didn't play Locomotive either. Get in the Ring and Shotgun Blues. Get in the Ring is it's a lot of explicit lyrics in there, but that's why this band was named the most dangerous band in the world, because they just were not afraid to put stuff out and be so popular with explicit lyrics, some stuff in the GNR Lies album, like with Patience, not with Patience, but there's other songs in the album that say very, very explicit language. It's crazy, and for those of you who are viewers. Or mine, or maybe older, your parents might know this, who remember those things. That's how they were just the baddest band on the planet. They were like the baddest band alive, and the most dangerous band too. Axl Rose used to jump into the crowd and stuff like that. He used to scream at people. He like there was this one story. I think it was during the Use Your Illusion tour. This guy, either Appetite for Destruction or the Use Your Illusion tour, a guy was recording on a tape recorder. The band, and the Axl dove into the stands, and he ripped the camera out of the guy's hand and started beating him up, saying, "I don't like being recorded. Stop it. Get the F out of here." Blah 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 blah. And that's how dangerous they were. And mind you, they're a little bit more civil now. They're a little bit more like tamed, but they're still badass. When I saw them, they rocked the house for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I loved every second of what they were in. I would like to see them again personally. I don't know. I mean, I don't know when they'll tour again, but hopefully they will. They've been touring for like 4 or 5 years now, so why don't just keep it up? I'll see you guys again at the Garden or whatever, you know. So, but Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, some of the best writing that the band did. They experimented around with different sounds too, like with there's a couple ballads on here, like with Appetite for Destruction, it was just a hard rock album, hard hitting hard rock album. But with this album, like Civil War, 7 minutes, it's not a ballad, but it's like it's a song that starts out kind of slow and then builds up immediately and then hard rock. Knocking on Heaven's Door is a little bit bluesy, but it's still a hard rock song. Estranged was a great ballad. And November Rain, another great ballad. To hear Coma, a 10-minute song. They were experimenting around with their sound so much, and it ended up on Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. So if you've never heard these 2 albums, I would say get off your ass and check them out right now, because they're just that good. The music that they put out then, listen to it from start to finish, as I always say. Listen to from, I don't know the opening track on Use Your Illusion 1, but listen from the beginning, start to end. Listen from Civil War to My World, and get to know this band, because they're going to keep touring, and they just put out a new song not too long ago called Absurd. I heard it live, and it went over so well, and it sounds very Guns N' Roses-ish, or I don't know how to say it. Like, I just love the fact that this band is still touring. They came back together after a long time apart, and they are still rocking and rolling all over the world. They are touring everywhere possible. It's insane. The small venues, big venues. Like, I saw them at a stadium. But their last tour that they did was stadiums, arenas, for literally 3 years. And they became the 3rd highest grossing tour of all time, was the reunion tour, Not in This Lifetime. So, and they played a lot of deep cuts. They're playing Locomotive. They're playing some songs off the album, Get in the Ring. It's insane what they're playing nowadays. And they might release a new album soon. Who knows? We'll see about that. But yeah, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Have you guys heard of this album? Have you heard them from start to finish? Jump down in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on GNR, on their albums. What do you guys think about that? And by the way, this is the shirt I got from the tour. You can't really see it because of the mic, but like I got it from the show. My date's on the back. It's great. Overall, though, what do you guys think? Are you or do you prefer Appetite for Destruction over the Illusion albums? Do you prefer the Illusion albums over Appetite for Destruction? Jump down in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on this. But for all of your Guns N' Roses videos and rock talk and whatever else, keep it locked. This is Review Show. The J-Man, off to rock. We'll see you guys later.